Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Village of Council, regular Village Council meeting for Monday, July 24th, 2023 will come to order. We begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are able, please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Maxim.
Here.
Commissioner Nero.
Here.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Here. Commissioner Vogt. Here. Mayor Hoskins.
Here. Okay, approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the July 10 regular Village Council meeting minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Maxham. Is there a second?
Nero second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Nero. Discussion? Okay, there's no discussion, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Maxim.
Aye.
Commissioner Nero.
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Aye. Commissioner Vogt. Aye. Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Okay, Commissioners, is there a motion to approve the July 10, 2023 Council Budget Workshop meeting minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Maxham. Is there a second?
Nero was second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Nero. Discussion? If there's no discussion, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Maxim.
Aye.
Commissioner Nero.
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Aye. Commissioner Vogt. Aye. Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Okay, we're at public comment. Do we have any public comments tonight?
I do have one that was emailed to me from Rick Corley from the Forest Park Theater. We would like to take this quick opportunity to thank the Village of Forest Parks for supporting our theater performance this summer. Without your support, we would not be able to provide free Shakespeare in the Park for the third summer. We are excited to bring our performance to the public and hope everyone can join us. Measure for Measure will be performed August 4th through 6th and 11th through 13th at the Grove by the Altenheim. Performances are free and start at 5 p.m. For more information can be found at fptheater.org. Thank you for your support.
Okay. Commissioners, there are no formal communications before us tonight. Under department reports, I believe your packet had one report from the police department for May and June of this year, and also a report from the fire department for June of 2023. Any discussion, comment, or feedback to either of the reports, Commissioners? Okay, if there's no comment on the reports, we're at bills by resolution. Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Forest Park, Cook County, Illinois, that we dispense with the reading of the individual bills inasmuch as each department head has approved and signed bills in the following aggregate amount for the respective departments. Refunds and allocations, $23,648.86. Public Affairs, $227,376.13. Police Department, $4,942.17. Community Center, $109.57. Council and Finance Clerk's Office, $58,309.86. Council and Finance Fire Department, $56,989.30. Department of Health and Safety, $5,609.11. Streets and Public Improvements, $100,710.19. Public Property, $54,715.50. Seizure, $5,379.23. Federal Customs, $12,261.57. TIF, $10,248.96. VIP, $29,404.42. Water Department, $224,578.82. For a total of $814,283.69.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, is there a motion to adopt the resolution on the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Maxham. Is there a second? It's been seconded by Commissioner Nero. Madam Clerk, whenever you're ready.
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero.
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Rogovan,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is resolution R 60 23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, there was no unfinished business on tonight's agenda, so we're at new business. The first item for the council to consider is an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2024 appropriation ordinance for the fiscal year that began May 1, 2023, and that ends April 30, 2024. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Maxim. Is there a second?
Yes. Nero will second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Nero. Discussion. Okay, there is no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero.
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Rogovan. Aye. Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is ordinance O 31 23.
Commissioners, next item is a resolution directing receipt and expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act funds for the Village of Forest Park. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Maxim. Is there a second?
Nero will second.
And seconded by Commissioner Nero. Discussion.
I have a question.
Commissioner Vogt.
I'm wondering if Administrator Amadei just wants to briefly go over sort of what the protocol is by approving tonight and if changes need to be made. I know that we recently had talked about the playground and now we're in a holding pattern because we're waiting to find out what's going on with the underground reservoir there. So that could potentially those monies could have to shift, but we're committing them to this now. So that's just one example. And I feel like some of this still could require some changing or amending. So I would like to just briefly talk about if we need to or what approving this tonight means for potential changes in the future.
All right, so most recently at the budget meeting that took place a couple weeks ago and at previous meetings where we've talked about establishing and kind of firming up our ARPA budget. This resolution kind of, and I don't want to use the word set things in stone, but give staff guidelines and parameters on projects that we have designated for ARPA. Obviously, a few of them have taken place and we have accounted for those. One of the themes that was talked about during the ARPA discussions was to make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves, that we're spending monies that we don't have within our $1.863 million ARPA budget. So at the last budget meeting, I had expressed to the council that, in light of several discussions that we had, let's put things down on paper and kind of commit to things. And along with the associated costs, that way staff has parameters moving forward that if there are changes that are needed at a later time, based on how pricing is, or if things don't come to fruition, I would like to the council to amend this budget. And I indicate so in the resolution. I did borrow the resolution from another Illinois community that used the resolution as a statement or a guide of what the money is going to be used for. I'd rather do that via resolution than via, notes in a council meeting minutes. And again, I want to, as stuff goes on, I would like the council to amend the expenditure of funds if we need to make changes. So any changes to this list in the future, staff will have to bring back for council to approve it. These numbers have fluctuated over time based on discussions and, as pricing has come in. You had mentioned the playground area. As we talked about, that project's on hold until we know the semantics involved about repairs that are needed at the community center. We also looked at, potentially future OSLAD funding that we can target for the community center. OSLAD is a 50-50 cost share. Actually, don't quote me on that. I think there is a cost share. I don't know if it's 50-50. But there's more things that need to happen at the community center in addition to the playground, which will require a future cost share. So as things become more clear at the community center regarding the repairs and the other things that are needed and how that corresponds to an OSLAD grant, potentially it's going to affect this budget, and we're going to have to talk about both. The council did okay pursuing the playground and dedicated ARPA funds for that. So for now, I would like these funds to be within this budget and accounted for. If something needs to change, I will have to bring that before council. And how that corresponds with the future ARPA grant application. And other than that, the other theme that we talked about, we did talk about helping out the chamber. In the past, they have asked for marketing assistant dollars. The council did discuss that. A previous version of this, I had a lower number than what they asked for. The council was open to providing the chamber what they asked for at $40,000 a year over 3 years. And I've not moved forward on that because I know the council wanted to kind of, as I indicated earlier, set things in stone to make sure that we don't overspend our dedicated ARPA funding. I have not made any payments to the council, to the chamber yet. If this resolution is approved, I would like to do so, at least the first. And once I do that, then the timing of that payment will correspond to the draft plan that I had forwarded previously on how I'd like them to report their activities and what they've done over the last year before we release future monies in future years. While I'm here, I'd be happy to answer any questions about anything that's on this budget. A lot of it we've talked about, kind of at length. Some things are placeholders. One of the things that I talked to Commissioner Vogt about earlier, for instance, at the bottom, we've got some AED replacements. I made room in the ARPA budget for that. That was not on a previous version that I did provide you. Why did I do that? Because I don't want to stress out the general fund. We have very little wiggle room that we have in the general fund. These are important things that we need for our buildings. So I took the opportunity to include that. So again, one of the themes of this budget, we have a lot of needs, is to not stress out our general fund with, some of the things that we need to take care of. While I'm here, I'm happy to answer questions.
So what I'm hearing is, by approving tonight, that does sort of set in motion you spending some of these funds, like you said, you'd like to give the chamber at least their first installment. So I guess I just wanted to take this opportunity to make sure that we're all sort of okay with where this is at. I know at the budget meeting, you said you would wiggle some things around, or when we approved the playground, wiggle some things around to make up for that additional 70,000. So like, for instance, our business incentive grants, you cut that in half. But then we also saw like an increase on the AEDs. The security cameras went a little bit over, and we lost 10,000 from mental health assistance. So I didn't know if we are comfortable with where this is at now, or if there's any tweaks that we want to.
Commissioner Maxim.
I sort of have I think a follow-up question to what Commissioner Vogt is asking. So if we pass this resolution tonight, Moses, does that give you authorization to, cut a check to the chamber, for example, or would we still have to approve that at a future meeting? As well as, other expenses on this too?
So some of the, let me just look down at the list here. the chamber, for instance, I think the first payment is 20,000 from the start, and then after 6 months would be 20,000. Check protocol, I can ask Tish, we would have to write a check, but the council will have to approve that, as part of our bills process.
That answered my question. Thank you.
And I will mention the business incentive grants. I have it at 40,000. That is for businesses, and I can't speak for the council, but at least what I'm thinking is for non-TIF areas. So if we have TIF funding available, we will use TIF to help out businesses if should an opportunity arise. Outside of TIF, we do not have any wiggle room in our general fund. That's kind of the target for those business incentive grants, non-TIF areas. I anticipated when we talked about the playground, the retention and support efforts for staff to be a lot higher, and in communication with Tish, this is the number that we would like to go to. So that's where monies for the playground did come from, but yes, the business incentive line item was greater before. The mental health line item was greater before. But as things came up, I had to move money around. And, if there is a desire to any amendments, just let me know. But right now I have accounted for all $1.8 million that we're getting.
Any further questions, commissioners? Or comments? Feedback from Moses? Moses, this budget, I think we all know it's been fluid. And we have what, another 2.5 years or so to spend the ARPA money, or 2 years? How much?
I believe we have to spend by the end of 2026. Commit by when? 2025.
So to your point, this is a roadmap, but it can be adjusted, correct? Here in the council, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Moses. Commissioner, any other questions?
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Moses. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Aye. Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is resolution R-61-23.
Okay, Commissioners, next item is an ordinance authorizing the sale or disposition of surplus property for the village. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we're gonna have Commissioner Vogt make the motion, and we'll have a second by Commissioner Maxim. Discussion?
I just have one question for council. It just says in here that we're doing our due diligence to contact an owner that is no longer around or in business. Moses and I discussed this briefly, but we'll just do whatever is required. If it's a certified letter or something. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Aye. Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is ordinance O-32-23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, next item is an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a lease and maintenance agreement with Gordon Flesh Company for a police department printer/copier. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Maxim. Discussion? There's no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Aye. Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is ordinance O-33-23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, next item is an ordinance waiving the bid requirements and authorizing the acceptance of the Aviglion Alta surveillance system proposal from Griffin Systems for the purchase and installation of surveillance cameras at various locations within the village. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Maxham. Is there a second?
Nero second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Nero. Discussion?
I have a question. I think, is it for Moses or? Can I clarify, is this this is an existing contractor? Our existing cameras are from there?
Yes, so one of the reasons why we're proposing to waive bid is because the cameras that are around town that were installed last year, it's the same vendor.
Okay,
So it's one system that will interface with everything. A couple cameras will be added at Public Works exterior and community center exterior and pumping stations exterior for security reasons. There's cameras here at Village Hall and at the community center and in the police department that are inside that need to be replaced.
so we're replacing some
So-
and then adding.
Yeah, we're adding, but we're replacing the internal inside the building cameras that need replacement with the same system. So it's all the interface is the same, compatibility is the same.
Okay, okay, I couldn't, it was hard for, I read the letter and I looked like for me it was the same vendor, but I just had to make sure. And I understand, waiving the bid process. I think I just wanted to say in general, I think it's good to do our due diligence in getting bids for making sure we're getting quality services and a good price. I think in this case, it makes a lot of sense to use a current contractor, but so I think it's fine. I just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly. So thank you for clarifying that.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mellon Rigovan. Are any other questions for Administrator Amade on the cameras? Okay, if there are no questions, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Rigovan,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Huskins.
Aye.
This is ordinance O-34-23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, next item is an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a purchase and installation agreement with SEPS Inc. for a police department uninterrupted power supply unit. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Maxim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Vogt. Discussion? Moses, you want to say something?
So in this case, I just want to clarify, we're waiving bid again. But I will say with the stipulation, the village is a member of the state purchasing contract, so the state bid, whatever CMS, Central Management Services. The village is a member of Sourcewell, which is a joint bid purchasing agency. And the village is a member of Omnia Partners, which is a joint bid purchasing agency. We need to waive bids here because if we go through a co-op, which is a publicly joint bid process, purchasing through our current vendor, ironically, is cheaper than going through the co-op. This is the
Okay.
first time I've ever encountered it. I couldn't believe it,
Okay.
but that is why we're waiving bid in this case is what the price that we're getting is cheaper than a joint bid co-op.
It helps to know those things, and I appreciate you're explaining those things when these things come up.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Because it helps when we know that we're getting value and quality for the village. Great, thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is ordinance 0-35-23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, Commissioners, next item is a supplemental resolution continuing to consent and support the approval of the Class 6B incentive. It's a property incentive to benefit 7,500 Industrial Drive. Is there a motion in support?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Maxim. Discussion? Or questions? Okay, there are no questions or no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is resolution R-62-23.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, next item is a resolution to approve and authorize the execution of a professional engineering services proposal for Phase 2 designed by Burke Engineering Limited in the Village of Forest Park. This is for the 2023 50/50 sidewalk replacement project. Is there a motion?
We'll make that motion.
I don't know. Go
Okay, it's
ahead.
been moved by Commissioner Nero. Is there a second?
I'll
Oh.
second.
Okay, second from the jokers over to the left, Commissioner Vogt.
What?
Levity is great.
Yeah, we were like, is it me or is it her?
Discussion on the 50/50.
Yes, sir. So this one I was scratching my head on a little bit. First of all, I think Christopher Burke Engineering does a great job for the village, and fully support them. And I was looking at this, and I think the 50/50 sidewalk program is great. But I was wondering, like, this is like an item that, one of these cost centers for Forest Park, and I was thinking to myself, we probably know what sidewalks are bad in town. And, from an engineering standpoint and design standpoint, it's remove and replace in kind. So maybe there's something I'm missing, which I'm sure there is. So I think from an engineering standpoint, it's probably just to cover the RFP process. I don't know if you could splash some color on that, or if there's a way that we could just perform this in-house, whereas we earmark the ones that we know, notify the homeowner, and away we go. But maybe we don't have the means and methods to do that. So kind of like a two-part question. Either Sal or Moses or.
So as far as my part's concerned, in the past, we've always used monies from the leftover of water main projects to fix the sidewalks. Director of Public Works would compile a list either from requests or from driving around and seeing what's bad. Then at that point, the monies would be used to replace the sidewalk. In the recent years with the increase in material costs, and now that we have to go all the way into the house with the lead service lines and convert them into copper, there's not much money left over in water main project monies. So that way, in the last few years, we've used VIP funding to do that in order to keep the sidewalks safe for pedestrians. As far as why we use Burke, I'm not sure. That would be a Moses question. I don't know if it's for setting up the RFP and then also to do the bidding process, but that's maybe something he can.
And that's fine. I was just thinking, if it's pouring a square here or there, if that's not something we can manage in-house.
No, I'm the one that compiles the list. I submitted my list to Burke. They
Uh-huh.
have my list, so I know which ones need to be replaced. That's what I do.
Who
Us-
replaces them though?
Once they go for bid, whoever wins the bid replaces all of them. at
Okay,
one
so
time.
we're not, I know
No.
sometimes we do smaller projects.
Yeah, we don't.
But with
have
this
the-
program, it's a bigger
Oh,
thing
yeah.
and that's why Burke is
It's
involved.
multiple locations, yeah.
So I think
Thank
what
you.
you're getting at, not to put words in your mouth, is shall we, and when I say we, Sal, okay, shall we manage the bid process and the construction observation process in-house? If I'm putting words in your mouth correctly. So that's the question that we would have to consider in the future, if that is something that I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, if that's something that we should be doing for a project like this.
Yeah, yeah, that, and I'm sure we don't have the staff to support that because I know sales department quite well. I guess, so maybe I've answered my own question. I guess what I'm thinking is, since we're doing quite a bit of the legwork, we know what we're talking about. I guess my real question then is, with a $2,000 and a 2,500, whatever it is, that is just to cover the RFP process, putting together the bid package.
So what we're talking about tonight is the phase 1 and phase 2 engineering, which is putting together the bid package and going out for bid
Okay.
and managing that whole process.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about tonight. I'm sure we're gonna get something in the future for them to perform the construction engineering. And the payout and all the administration that goes along with that for final payout.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of that's already done.
Any further questions or
Onward.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye.
This is resolution R 63 23.
Okay, Commissioners, next is a motion to approve a banner request from Housing Forward for a period beginning July 24 through August 7th. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
I'll
Nero's.
second.
Okay, Michelle will.
Been seconded by Commissioner Mellon Regoldman. Discussion,
I have a question.
Commissioner Vogt.
This pertains to, I guess, the next handful of agenda items. This is a lot of banner requests and a lot asking for extended lengths of time. And I was just trying to figure it out, and maybe you can help me, Sal. Do we have room for everybody? Okay, I just didn't map out the whole thing, but there's overlapping and some that stay up for a couple weeks. So I just want to make sure we're. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sal. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Commissioners, next, is there a motion for approval for a solicitation request by the Knights of Columbus? This is during September. Is there a motion?
I'll make the
Nero.
motion. I will allow my colleague.
A chair will give it to Nero,
I will second.
seconded by Commissioner Mellon Regoven. Discussion?
I just wanted to recognize Rachel Entler for coordinating all of the charitable work going on in the village for raising money for Kiwanis, Knights of Columbus, et cetera, making sure that calendars are coordinated so folks can engage the community and reach the community without bumping into each other. So thank you, Rachel.
Any further comment?
I will second that.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. All right, Commissioners, next is a motion to approve an Opportunity Knox raffle and banner request for the month of September of this year. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
Nero was second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Nero. Discussion. Okay, there's no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Commissioners, next item is a motion to approve a banner request from the Forest Park Chamber. This is advertising the casket races for October. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Discussion?
We're talking about.
Are we
the
gonna have a
casket.
council casket this year?
Okay, that's not part of the agenda question. An interesting question, but it's not germane to this approval.
We're talking about something in October. Okay, it's exciting. Yay.
Start thinking about ideas.
Okay.
Is there any discussion on this motion? No. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Commissioners, next item is a motion to approve a banner request from the Forest Park Theater. This is for July and part of August. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Discussion? There's no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. The clerk has demoted me. It's okay. Commissioners, next item is a banner request promoting Black Business Month. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Discussion? Okay, there's no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Commissioner, next item is a motion to approve the use of public way request from Forest Park Cub Scout Pack 109. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Vogt. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been seconded by Commissioner Mellon Ragoven. Discussion? Okay, there's no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Okay, Commissioners, the final item under new business is a motion to approve appointments to various boards and commissions, 2 members to the Rec Board, 3 members to the Diversity Commission. Their terms are listed to the right. Is there a motion?
Nero will make that motion.
It's been moved by Commissioner Nero. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Maxim. Discussion. Okay, there's no discussion. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna have to do something about the phones. That's like twice in one night. We're at administrator's report. Moses? The person with the phone, you want to show us what you're playing with your phone? Okay, we're at commissioners' reports. Commissioner Maxim.
I have no report tonight. Thank you.
I do.
Okay, Commissioner Nero, you'll get her time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we're going to do something different and we're going to talk a little bit about safety and we're going to talk about recognition, 2 of my favorite things. And so from a safety standpoint, I know this is an odd time of year to be talking about this, but we're going to talk about carbon monoxide safety. And then I'm going to close with a story that I think you will find very interesting and why I picked that topic. So carbon monoxide, that is created from the incomplete burning of fuels like gasoline, propane, natural gas, coal, etc. And so why is this important? And you might not think that it's important this time of year, but in low concentrations, and I'm gonna throw some ppm, parts per million at you, lower than 50 parts per million for an 8-hour day, you can experience symptoms like headache, fatigue, shortness of breath, those types of things. So where are you for 8 hours a day, typically in your dwelling or at work, right? And so if you're feeling those symptoms and you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, you should probably get one. But furthermore, 150 to 200 parts per million, disorientation, unconsciousness, and death are very possible. So alarms do go off on various detectors, and it depends on the time of exposure and the saturation or parts per million of exposure. Typically, you go to the hardware store and you buy a CO detector and you hang it on your wall and away you go and you're good. One thing with that, I would caution everybody is to make sure to check the batteries. And then also to check the time. They have a lifespan. The sensors inside them have a lifespan, and that lifespan is typically stamped on the side of the unit. So make sure that you replace them in kind, just like you would your fire alarms. And anyway, I guess if you're experiencing symptoms, it's important to seek medical attention and make sure that you're inspecting those. And if you don't have one, it's important to get one. And now I will close with a story here that I think is very important. And so it goes like this. It's important to let people know when someone has gone above and beyond. My neighbors and I were dealing with a serious carbon monoxide situation since Saturday. By the way, this is in Forest Park. We called the fire department and Nicor Gas, and it was confirmed after their inspection that there was an issue in the building with carbon monoxide. I reached out to the property manager and board of managers and was told that they had no control over when contractors would come out or return their calls. Out of frustration and desperation, I contacted an individual at the village and received a call back from this individual right away. After explaining to him my concern about everyone's health and safety, he said, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." And he was. He immediately assessed the situation, contacted Monroe Management, and made certain that they realized action needed to be taken immediately. This individual walked me through the process every step of the way and made me feel like finally someone cared about the lives of the people living in my building. And there was over 90 units there. After multiple contractors were sent out, we finally discovered that a vent in the wall coming out of our boiler room had multiple cracks and was pushing carbon monoxide into our units. I am forever grateful for this individual's tenacity, caring manner, and professionalism. He truly saved my life and the lives of many of our fellow neighbors. You were lucky to have such an amazing person on your staff, and that individual is Steve Glinke. So thank you, sir. End of report. I'm sure you really appreciate that. Sorry. Sorry.
That was an outstanding report, Commissioner.
Okay.
How are you going to follow that up, Commissioner Melvin McGovan?
Difficult. Yes. Yes, Steve is definitely a hard act to follow and has been for 38 years. I have a brief report. Definitely wanted to mention that the Traffic and Safety Commission has rescheduled their meeting to this Thursday, July 27th in Village Hall from last Thursday when we were scheduled to meet. So I encourage everyone to attend. We have a very thrilling and exciting data-filled meeting to discuss. So I encourage you to attend. This past 2 weeks, I wanted to congratulate the Historical Society of Forest Park for an exciting and very successful garden walk. It was very well attended and really engaged the Forest Park community across many areas of Forest Park, and it was really a thrilling event. So I would encourage you to get involved with the Historical Society of Forest Park. It was really thrilling and a wonderful event. I attended the Soup and Bread event that's held monthly at Exit Strategy this last week. It's a fundraiser that supports hunger issues in our community. And last month it supported a local food pantry, and next month it will be supporting the fridge programs in our area. So please mark your calendar for I think it's the third Tuesday of the month. And I did attend the Kiwanis meeting this past Tuesday to celebrate the 100th birthday of Kiwanis, as we will this whole year. At the Brown Cow, had my celebration ice cream and talked to them about our fundraising for the flagpole. And the Kiwanis were very supportive, which I appreciated, and really enjoyed meeting with them. I also wanted to end my report acknowledging our police department and the activities that went on this past month or two, honoring Nicholas Kozak and his contributions in memory of him and events in memory of him. I was sorry I wasn't able to be here at Village Hall on the 16th, but I was very moved by his contributions to our police department, and it meant a lot for me to see all the events in his memory in May, June, and July. And I have been thinking about him and his contributions to our village, and was glad that our police department was participating in the events in memory of him, especially this summer. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Mellon. We'll go from Commissioner Vogt.
That was very well said. I had mentioned at the last meeting that Forest Park had been awarded a level 1 accreditation from ArbNet and the Morton Arboretum, recognizing us as a municipal arboretum, which is exciting news. And I just wanted to give a quick overview that you have to meet a few following standards to get that accreditation. It's having an arboretum plan, an organizational group. You have to have a minimum of 25 species. I think we have 71. You need 100 or more to get level 2. So very close, we could get that in a couple of years. And then having staff or volunteers that ensure the fulfillment of our plan. And then a public dimension, outreach, our Arbor Day celebration, for instance. So this accreditation highlights Forest Park's recent achievements and commitment to the proper care and management of our urban forest. We joined 40 countries and 628 arboreta accredited globally. The distinction honors our goals within our community, but also provides opportunities for collaboration and sharing information and other conservation ideas and activities. So it's a really great thing that we can add to our growing list of acknowledgements for our care of our trees. And I want to thank Sal again for working to get that application in. And then I just wanted to mention quickly, this is more of a request or directive to Moses. As we're talking about our budget and saving money, I know Commissioner Nero was worried about the 2,200 for Burke Engineering. I know I had asked to get additional information from our lobbying company and to get a presentation or progress report or an update. And I see that there was an invoice that was approved in this month's bills for 630. And so I was just curious if they have been contacted and requested for that information, and that we should probably suspend any future payments until the council has had an opportunity to review any of those presentations or progress reports from over the last 3.5 years, which totaled about $75,000. So that's just one thing that I hope that we can work on as we try to sort of figure out where to pinch our pennies and make the dollar stretch. And that's all.
Okay, Commissioners, thank you, Commissioner Vogt. Last week, we were invited to meet with CTA officials. At first, to get an overview of the construction they're doing along the Forest Park branch of the CTA, the Blue Line. But then we also had a nice discussion about a pot of money they received from the state to combat homelessness in the area. So they were awarded, I think about $50 million in funds from the state of Illinois. We helped them lobby for that during the WCMC lobby day because we expected Forest Park to be a beneficiary of the funding. And so we were accompanied by the mayor of Oak Park, and we had a really good discussion. There's going to be a follow-up. So we're having CTA officials here in the village on Monday, the 31st. We've invited the fire chief to come and talk to CTA about, from his firsthand perspective, about the number of rescues, medical services provision that our firefighters and paramedics provide primarily at the CTA Blue Line station, and to make a request for, support in seeking a more robust funding stream from either the state or the county in recognition that we basically secure the busiest train line in Cook County, a community of 14,000. Second, we discussed what I think we all hear, concerns from the residents about cleanliness in some of the CTA areas. One of the main concerns that we've dealt with over the past 2 years is the prevalence of syringes that are, discarded by drug users. And of course, some of these people have real problems, right? Whether it's addiction mixed with mental health, what have you. But we have just really large amounts of syringes that are discarded along the Blue Line, along the fields on both sides of the Eisenhower, along Harlem. And we asked them if they would consider installing receptacles. Surprisingly, they told us that they already have receptacles. They have receptacles at the Blue Line station. I did not know that. And I don't think that our public safety staff knew that as well. So it's a good start. So when we have them out here next week, we'll take them to some other locations and ask them if they'll consider placing them maybe outside of the stations, where they will more likely be used. And then one of the questions is how much to collect, right? That's hazardous material. It's not something that everyone can do, but it's something that we did address with CTA. We also made them aware of some of our general concerns about cleanliness along the train lines. They indicated a willingness to continue working with us on cleanup days, et cetera. But some of the trash does accumulate on property that's owned by another railroad system and is not solely under the control of CTA. So there are limitations there. But rest assured, we are addressing some of these concerns with CTA. You may have noticed that the clerk's office is back to normal hours. We've hired additional staff, or at least one new person's in the clerk's office. So that's enabled them to resume their normal hours. So we're no longer on half days. And we've also added staff to the police department's reception window. And then we just got a recent request from our Congressman, Danny Davis. He wants to hold a town hall here in Forest Park. So that will likely be set in stone for August the 9th. It will be in the evening. And we're going to see whether to hold it here in the village council chambers or possibly at the community center, depending on how early the kids are gone and whether or not it's reserved on that evening. So that's all I have for my report. And so having said that, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Nero will make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Nero. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Maxim. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Maxim,
Aye.
Commissioner Nero,
Aye.
Commissioner Mellon Ragoven,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Mayor Hoskins.
Aye, we stand adjourned.